Hi, welcome into today's card lesson. In today's exercise, we would model this basket. This isn't as complicated as you see it to be. I would walk you through step by step how you can recreate this. If you would have any comments, questions, concerns, or contributions, you can drop them down in the comment section below. I would respond to them as soon as possible. Let's begin with today's exercise. Let's get our worksheet new up here, or Control plus N. And this is going to be a part. So on the part, create 2D and 3D object. Let's select the standard MMIP sheet template and create. Next, let's pick the 2D sketch command and create this sketch on the XZ plane. Now you can turn your sheet around with this arrow here so you can read the top from the left to the right. Now drop down the rectangle options and pick the 2-point center rectangle. We will draw a rectangle here at the origin and we will dimension this with a width of 200 and then a height of 400. Let's enter that. Now we can finish this sketch. Double click the scroll mouse button so you see your work. We would extrude this profile. The extrude command. The profile has been detected. For the direction, it's okay. We would use the default, but the distance of extrusion, we want to change that to 150. And we want to apply a little bit of taper here. So we taper this downwards. So come down here under the taper A, just change that to 10. And that is what we want. We have a little bit of taper. Now we can OK. Next, we want to create the little cutout here on this face. For that, we would pick a plane to work on. Let's open the default planes and work on the YZ plane. So I'll click on that and pick this icon here that says create sketch. Great. Now I don't see the plane because it's hiding in the middle of our feature. Let's slice so we see that face we want to create the sketch on, which is this one. Next, we would pick the rectangle command, the 2-point rectangle. Let's draw our first rectangle here. Make sure you lock onto this top line. You click and drag and then lock it onto this base line also and click again. We'll do same on this side. And then we will dimension. The distance between these two lines is going to be 100. Also between this and that is 100. So just click and click the 100 you have here so you can have that replicated here and check. Would also dimension the distance between this line and the origin as 20. Would also do same between this line and the origin as 20. Now we can finish the sketch and we want to extrude, but the extrusion we want to extrude from this face, not from this plane we selected here. This is how we would go about it. Let's pick the extrude command. And here you want to come down to this one here that says from. But first of all, let's even select the profile we want to extrude. We want to extrude this profile and this one. Let's change the boolean to a cut. And for the cut also, from the plane, we want to change this. We don't want to extrude from the plane we created the sketch on. So just select between is off, just turn on that option. And now we have to select the face we want to extrude from, which is going to be this face here. And we would specify the distance of that extrusion as 15. There we have the preview, it looks fine, we would OK. For this extrusion we've done here, we want to mirror on the opposite side. We'd use the mirror command up here. The features we want to mirror, we would select these features we just extruded. The plane we want it to go across, which is the mirror plane, select that and we'll choose the YZ plane and OK. Now we have same on the opposite side. We also need to do same on this face and the opposite face as well. First of all, let's pick a plane to work on, which is going to be the XY plane. I'll click on that and choose create a sketch here. Now let me slice so I see that face. We will pick the rectangle command. Let's draw a rectangle here. We will dimension the distance between the two lines here that form the rectangle as 100, just like the ones we did before. And also put the vertical constraint between the midpoint of this rectangle and the origin. So just locate the midpoint of the width of the rectangle and align it with the origin. You can finish this and we would extrude. And so same procedure, we pick the extrude command. The feature is going to be this one, which has been automatically selected. For the from, we would pick this option, turn that on, and we will select to extrude from this face. Now we'll specify the distance of 15. The boolean is going to be a cut. The preview looks fine. Let's OK. Would also mirror this on the opposite side. The mirror command, the feature is here. I have selected that. And the mirror plane is going to be the XY plane. We see the preview, and so we can OK. Let's inspect what we've done. All right. Now let's apply some fillets. Let's pick the fillet command. The fillet radius will change from 2 mm to 5 and apply it to all the edges here. So just watch and do same. I'll speed this a little bit, but it's basically all of the lines. So in all, you should have 26 edges selected. Okay, now you can hit the plus sign. Let me turn this around so we can also apply seam fillet to this base. So for that, you can just touch on the outline and the whole fillet will be applied to all of the lines. Let's hit OK. Let me turn this around. Let me even get the isometric view. We want to shell this. Let's pick the shell command. The faces we want to remove this face, and we want to leave a thickness of 5 mm, so you can type that in here. Make sure this first option inside is selected and automatic face is checked. The preview is fine. Let's go ahead and OK. Next, we will select this face and create a sketch on it. Before we create our sketch, let's project some geometries, and so pick the project geometry command up here. We want to project this face, and then we would pick the rectangle command. Let's pick the 2-point center rectangle and draw a rectangle from the origin. We would dimension this and give it a width of 300, and we'll give it a height of 500. Now let's finish this and extrude. The extrude command. The profile we want to extrude is going to be this profile. Also make sure you select this one as well. Great. We want that extrusion to go down, so we pick the second option, the flipped, and we want to change the distance of this extrusion to 5 mm. Now you can OK. Okay, the boolean was a cut, sorry, so just double click on that extrusion, and we want to change the boolean to a join rather. Now we can OK. All right. We need to apply some more fillets. Let's pick the fillet command again. The fillet radius is going to be 2 this time. Let's apply it to all of the edges here. Let me turn this a little also to the inner edges. Just inspect and make sure you've selected all of the edges. Okay, that is fine. Let's now do these edges as well. So in all, about 84 edges. Let's hit OK. Let's get the isometric view. Next, we want to create those little holes on these faces, and we will do that by using the rectangular pattern and the mirror command. Let's see how that is done. First of all, we have to create the sketch we would be extruding. Let's pick a plane to work on. We can work on the YZ plane, so I'll select that and pick create a sketch. Now let's slide so we see the plane. Now we'll go ahead and pick the rectangle command, the 2-point center rectangle. Let me zoom in a little. So we pick 1/2 of the faces and we will draw a rectangle here. We would use the equal constraint to say that make the width of this line equal with the height, and we would dimension this as 10. Let's enter that we want to apply a fillet also of radius 2.5. to all four corners of this little rectangle we've drawn. Let's close this. We would use the horizontal constraint that's going to give us the vertical one because of the orientation of the work. We want to align the midpoint of this line with the midpoint of this line also here. So we just click and dimension the distance between this baseline and the line we just projected as 5 and enter that. Now we want to pattern this rectangle we've drawn. Let's pick the rectangular pattern command here. The feature we want to pattern, I can just click and drag over this feature, this profile we have here. And for the direction we want the pattern to go along, we would use this line. We want the count to be 3, including the one we have already. And we want the distance between them to be 18. We also want the same pattern on this side. So we'll hit the direction 2 and also pick the same direction, but we see it's also moving towards the left, so we'll use this option here that says flipped. We want the occurrences to also be 3 and we want the distance between them to be 18. This is exactly what we want. Let's hit OK. We want to rectangular pattern this again to the top, so we would use the rectangular pattern command a second time. This time the geometries are going to be all of these, so I'll click and drag over them. And for the direction, we want to choose any vertical line, and so I'm going to choose this one and flip the direction of those rectangular patterns around. Now for that, I want 9 of them and I want the spacing between them to be 15. Let me zoom in so we see the preview better. Okay, this is exactly what I want. Let me OK. Now I can finish this and I want to extrude these profiles. Let's pick the extrude command. It says we should select the profile, so I'll make this small and click and drag over all of the little profiles I have drawn. Now for the direction, I want it to be symmetric and I want to define the distance of this extrusion with the through all option. Okay, and the boolean also is going to be a cut, not a join. This is quite a lot of work for Autodesk Inventor because we have a lot of profiles we are extrude cutting. So please give this some time depending on the quality of your machine do. Now the preview is okay for me. Let me hit OK and wait a little. Okay, so that has been neatly done. I would also mirror these features on the opposite side so I can get same on these faces as well. Let's use the mirror command. The features are going to be this extrusion. I'll select it from the model browser. The mirror plane or the plane I want it to go across. Let's see. I can use the XY plane. There I have the preview. So we OK. Awesome. Now we'll do same so we get that same extrusions on this face and that face. Let's first of all pick a plane to work on, which is going to be the XY plane. I'll click on that and create a sketch. I want to now slice so I see that exact face, same as we did. Let's pick the center point rectangle command. We'll draw a rectangle here and we would dimension this as 10. Let's make equal this line and that line and apply the fillet of 2.5 to the four corners, and also put the vertical relationship between this point and the origin. And we would also dimension the distance between this line and this one as 5. We would rectangular pattern just like we did into the rectangular pattern command. The feature is going to be this one, or the geometry, sorry. The direction we can use this line. We want how many of them? 3. The distance between them should be 18. We will go to the direction 2. Let's pick any horizontal line. We would flip that around. Let's change the occurrences to be 3 and the distance between them also 18. Let's OK. We would also rectangular pattern again so we can get them moving in the vertical direction. The geometries, let me click and drag over all of them. For the direction, we can use any vertical line. So I'll use this. I'll flip the direction around. Let's change the occurrences to 9. The distance between them also to 15. The preview looks fine. Let's OK. We would also finish this and extrude cut them. The extrude command. The profiles, let me click and drag over all of them. The direction is going to be symmetric. The distance, let's use the through all option. And the boolean, we want to remove material, so a cut. And hit OK. Neatly done. Our model is almost done. Let's apply some more detail in the fillet. The fillet radius this time is 20. We want to apply it to this edge. Also this one. Let's look for this edge. And then finally this edge. Let's hit OK. Alright, now let's turn this around. We will select this face and create a sketch on it. We want to rather project this face, and we want to also offset this profile to a distance of 5. Let's enter that. Now you can finish this, and we want to extrude this very profile just so we can get a little bit of grip whilst raising this basket. The distance of this extrusion we want to change to 5 and hit OK. Alright, so there we have it. Now let's change the appearance of this. I'll drop down the appearance options. You can choose any appearance of your choice, but I will do the light red. We'll do a basic rendering also. So go into the view tab, apply some shadows, apply a reflection. You can apply a ground plane if you want. And we will change the lightning effect to photo booth. Alright, and so that's going to be it for today's tutorial. I hope this will be helpful. If it is helpful, kindly consider subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do that. Also, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or contributions, drop them down in the comment section below. I would respond to them as soon as possible. Don't forget to share this with your card friends and also save this. I'll see you soon in the next tutorial. Bye.